What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fragrance Fraternity. Hopefully, you're all doing well today. Hopefully, you're all smelling good. Go ahead and drop your scent of the day in the chat. Today, I'm wearing Mancera's French Riviera. Why did I go with this fragrance? Why not? Saw it in the corner of my eye. It's kind of been sitting in the corner of my collection. The little blue gradient bottle caught my eye. I haven't worn it in a while, so I figured, what the hell? Let's go with it. Wore it to the gym this morning, 2 solid sprays, and that was all I needed to be smelling like I was floating along a French Riviera in luxury. How's that for a description for you? So, yeah, let's get caught up in the chat with your scent of the day, and then we'll just talk about some fragrances that are like new acquisitions or maybe stuff that I've been kind of testing out and can give you my thoughts on. We can have a little bit of a conversation, see how it goes, see how the conversation flows, and yeah, hopefully we can cover some good ground here today. Have a good time. What's up, Gian, Mr. First in the chat? Nice to see you. Son of the day, Jack of Clubs, a great La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electrique interpretation, and I believe also comes with a deck of playing cards. So bang for your buck. Smelling great today, Gian. Love La Nuit de l'Homme Blue Electrique, as you probably know. What's up, Patrick? Nice to see you. Glad you could make it here on your Wednesday after work. Scent of the day was Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Parfum. You, sir, were smelling absolutely phenomenal. One of the best kind of powdery iris fragrances with a beautiful suede accord. I really love how the suede comes across in that particular fragrance. Excellent, excellent choice today, Patrick. I love to see it. Joel, everyone's favorite moderator, is here today wearing Arabian Oud Majestic Woody Intense. Okay, Joel, very, very nice and exquisite, as you so often are, my good sir. Good to see you. Good evening, Jason. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for joining us today with a badass picture of your vehicle right there in your thumbnail, as always, letting us know that you got a sweet ride. Scent of the day is Jasada Ambassador Titanium. Okay, nice. I actually want to get my nose on that one. I heard it gets some comparison to Le Male Parfum, which is one of my favorite fragrances, and also, I hear it gets a little bit of a comparison to Parfums de Marly Pegasus as well, which I find interesting. I owned Pegasus for a little bit, but then I ended up selling it off. I realized I like the fragrance, but once it got to like hour 3 or 4 of wearing it, I was a little bit over it. But I did like it, but I wish it, I guess, was weaker. I'm not sure, but I enjoyed smelling it more than I enjoyed wearing it. You know, sometimes that happens, but I'd like to get my nose on Titanium is basically what the whole point of that rant was. Getting ready for a snowstorm. Okay, well, stay safe out there, and hopefully the snow does not cover up your whole beautiful car there. Hopefully you got it stored somewhere where it's not going to get piled on. What's up, John Carlo? Good to see you, my guy. Wearing French Avenue Cacao Morado. Okay, not familiar with that one, John Carlo. You say it's fire. Tell us about it. Tell us about French Avenue Cacao Morado. Definitely. You're always putting us onto some good stuff over here. Jerry is here. What's up, Jerry? Hopefully you're doing well. Let us know your scent of the day if you're wearing anything. Dan the man is here wearing Argos Charon's Veil. Okay, one of their newer ones, I believe, right? Yeah, I like that one. It's got a cool like artwork with a skeleton type dude hanging out. And yeah, I got to get my nose on some Argos fragrances. They are all the buzz these days. And if for nothing else, they look quite nice. And yeah, definitely got to get my nose on some Argos soon. But Dan, I would assume you're smelling great, at least from the conversations that I've heard surrounding the brand of Argos. You guys saying what's up to each other? Blaine, good to see you. Our friend from Australia here, Mr. Blaine. Always appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate that, Dan. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, hit that like button in. We can let people know that we are live. They can participate in the conversation. What's up? Your scent of the day is Frederic Malle Carnal Flower. Okay, nice. I have not tried any Frederic Malle yet. I would love to. Specifically, the two fragrances that interest me the most are Promise and also Musk Ravageur. I hear those are the two kind of must tries, and I'd also like to try a Portrait of a Lady at some point. So those three are kind of the ones I'm keeping in the back of my mind. If I see them out and about, definitely gonna want to get my nose on those. But you're smelling great. I heard there's a lot of great stuff from Frederic Malle and top tier quality, from what I understand. Wish I could wear something like French Riviera. Woke up and it was 20 degrees this morning. Yeah, well, that is why we pay the big bucks over here, I suppose. Stay warm, Patrick. Scent of the day is Soma Halcyon Oud from Mr. Newt. Mr. Newt, thanks for being here. Good to see you. Always happy to see you in these little live chat sessions. I'm thinking of getting Panadora Swedish Wood or Algabra Eye of Seven Hills. Okay. If anybody has any experience, weigh in. Let Joel know if he should cop the purchase. What's up, Randy? Good to see you, man. Hopefully you're doing well today. And you know what? If I don't know what your schedule is or whatever, but I'm going to just drop the link. If anybody wants to join, feel free to hop into the conversation. Pretty casual stream today, just no specific topic, but I do have some fragrances lined up that we can definitely talk about. So yeah, the link is down there. Let me see if I missed anybody on the way in. You guys just saying what's up to each other. Manye, what's up, man? Hopefully you're doing well. Let us know your scent of the day if you're wearing anything. I appreciate you stopping in. Titanium is a nice metallic powdery vanilla. Noted. That's what I hear. I hear Le Male Parfum and also a little bit of Parfums de Marly Pegasus. I had a foot of snow and it's 14 degrees here. That is one thing I do not miss growing up in Colorado, is the snow and the cold and all that. Yeah, I'm good on all that. And I feel your guys' pain. I really do. Scent of the day, sadness. Oh, man. Well, hopefully we can give you a little bit of distraction and give you a place to maybe feel a little bit better. Maybe spray on one of your favorite fragrances, man. That always puts me in a better mood and helps uplift me. They say if you wear grapefruit that it actually boosts your mood, and there's some sort of scientific backing toward that. So if you have any grapefruit fragrances, maybe 2 or 3 sprays of a little grapefruit fragrance can pick you up a little bit. Yeah, if there's anything that I can personally do, or if you ever need someone just to talk to, sometimes, it's just good to let stuff out. I think oftentimes as guys, we try to like hold everything in, act like there's nothing bothering us because, most people don't really give a shit about our problems. But at any time, if anybody is feeling down or just needs to vent, let it out, and has no one that, wants to listen to them complain, you guys can always hit me up in my DMs and let me know what's going on. Sometimes it's good to just let it out, man, and talk to somebody about it. Somebody that's not in your like immediate circle too. That can be really helpful. So my chats are open for you, man. If you ever want to reach out, you wanted me to remind you about that moderator thing. Okay, there you go. I'm at work downtown right now. If I remember, I'll get home. Just freezing over here in Huntsville. Stay warm, guys. Stay warm. I feel very spoiled being in LA right now when you guys are all freezing. Let's see. Quest, what's up, man? Thanks for being here today. Wearing zoologist squid. Okay, I've heard some good things about squid. I want to get my nose on some more zoologists, specifically bee, rabbit, and squid, and snowy owl is another one from zoologists that I like to get my nose on. Let's see. Question for you. Out of the upcoming announced releases, what interests you the most? So far, it's got to be Acqua di Gio Elixir, Roja Apex, O Intense, and Kenzo Om Indigo. I don't know all the new releases, but from the ones that I've heard about, the new Le Male seems interesting. I know Randy posted something that it may be exclusive to employees only, so that would be kind of a bummer. But yeah, I'm always down for some new Le Male. Just try it out. What else? Acqua di Gio Elixir could be good. I don't really know what the note breakdown is. I have not looked into it too far. That's something that we could look into and check out if they've released that already. But can't say I'm shocked that there's a new Acqua di Gio. I feel like there's been a new Acqua di Gio every couple months. Kenzo Om Indigo. Okay, that could be interesting. I've tried a couple from that Kenzo Om line. My favorite so far believe it was the Eau de Toilette Intense or either Eau de Parfum Intense. It was the one that had Intense in the name. That was my favorite one of the one I've tried. And Roja Apex O Intense is probably one that I'm not going to really be able to get my nose on, unfortunately. So, yeah, but we'll see. You know, there were so many new releases this year. It was kind of hard to keep up with them all, and it's a bit overwhelming. There was like at least 60 new fragrances that came out this year, and I'm happy not to be a new release channel because I feel like I could be getting really overwhelmed if I was trying to keep up with every single new release. But thankfully, I do live close to some Sephoras and stuff that regularly get the new stuff in, so I can at least stay up to date and give you guys my thoughts on some of the newer stuff as I get my nose on it throughout the year. I try to be pretty quick about it, especially if there's one that's kind of gaining popularity and people are talking about it. I want to be part of the conversation, so I try to go and get my nose on it if I can. Let's be aware of our mental health. Us fraternity members got to look out for each other. Yeah, definitely, for sure, man. I really enjoy. I genuinely believe this. I really like the people in this community, and especially like our little fraternity within the community. In this live stream crew of about 20 people are people that I would hang out with all of you guys in real life. I know you guys are all positive people, and you have a good mentality about life and good camaraderie in this group. So it's definitely good to have a little crew that you can kind of lean on, because we all need somebody to lean on. That's all the singing you're going to get out of me today. Just announced was a new Le Male Elixir Absolute. Apparently different from the rest of the series. Yeah, that was the one that kind of caught my attention. I saw a little plum action going on. Definitely get down on some plum. Zoologist Cow, I think you would like. Okay, I don't think I've ever heard of that one. Zoologist Cow. Let's look that one up. That'd be interesting. I wonder what's in that one. Let's check out the cow. You guys should be able to see that screen. All right, let's check out Zoologist Cow real quick. Not heard about that one. I know rabbit's supposed to smell like carrot cake. Snowy owl is like a snow-covered mountaintop, which sounds really nice. And I think seahorse is like an aquatic one, obviously. So let's see what's up with cow. You guys should be able to see that, right? Yeah. All right. Green floral, creamy, fresh, fruity. All right, that sounds like something that would be right up my alley. A green floral, apple and sage. Love apple and sage. I love Y80P, and that's kind of what that reminds me of. Heliotrope, milk, lily of the valley, jasmine, and violet. Cedarwood, musk, vetiver, amber, and benzoin. Okay, yeah, I mean, this definitely sounds right up my alley, Dan. You know my taste pretty well at this point. So I'll definitely have to add this one to the list to try. I should pull that up, and I'll show you guys the kind of running list that I have of stuff to try. I'm gonna add Zoologist Cow to that. Yeah, I'll show you guys the running list of stuff to try. It's kind of a long list at this point, and a lot of it are Joel Matrix recommendations. Let's see, if I just pull up a Google Doc, it should be able to just paste it and show you guys the running list. You guys should be able to see that, right? Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see it easier. This is the running list. Let me add the other ones that I had in my head. So cow, rabbit, and then what else did I say? Oh yeah, snowy owl. Montebaco Cuba is one I'm pretty interested in. I've heard some really nice conversation from Dedrick and also Sips and Snips talking about Montebaco Cuba. I've not got my nose on any of the Montebaco Verano fragrances to this point, but feel like they're something that I would enjoy, and they seem pretty wearable and stuff that suits my lifestyle. John Carlo told us about Latafa Mashraiba last time, and I've seen a little bit of conversation about that, so that's interesting. And then Creed Toblerone Millesime is one that doesn't really get spoken about much. I heard Jason talking about it on Sips and Sniffs, and just looking at the note breakdown, that one really caught my attention. It's sort of like an easygoing daily driver thing with a lot of ginger, which I love ginger in fragrances. A lot of my favorite freshies are, using some kind of ginger in them. So that one kind of caught my attention. I haven't this is going to sound blasphemous to some people, but I haven't really found a creed that I was like over the moon about so much that I was like, oh, I have to have this. I do think they're really good, but you know, they're pricier. And every time I've kind of been in that consideration of spending, you know, between the $150 to $200 mark, I've just gone with something else every single time so far. So I still don't own any Creed fragrances, but you know, I think eventually I'm going to want to at least own one. So this Toblerone Millesime, you know, maybe that one. I want to get my nose on it. And then a lot to try from Serge Lutens. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to acquire them in the United States. I know their kind of distribution is limited here. Santal Majuscule. There's also that amber one that I'm going to write down. I forgot exactly what it's called. Just write the amber one that I'll know. Filet in Aguiles is one that is the perfume guy's favorite, and I've heard some good conversation about it. And I like the look of this of the filet. I'll show you guys the way it looks really quick. It's got this kind of wine bottle look to it. Let me just copy this link so I don't lose it. Go back to Parfumo. You guys may be familiar with the look of it, but for those that aren't, whatever. I'm not. That's actually gonna. Whatever. I already said I was gonna do it. Let me just pull it up. Try not to slow down the stream too much, you know. But I already started, so I'll just show you guys. Let's go to their site. All right, you guys should be able to see that. Kind of reminds me of a wine bottle looking type thing, really tall and slender. But I think that looks pretty nice and classy. But yeah, retail price is pretty crazy. Thankfully, you can find these Serge Lutens pretty heavily discounted. So let me get caught up in the chat real quick. I don't want to ignore anybody, and then we can get back to my random thoughts of my brain. Let's see. Dakota, what's up, man? Thanks for being here. Son of the day, Baccarat Rouge 540 X-Straight. Okay, playing no games today. Let them know how you smell. Son of the Night, Daffodil and Dandelion by House of Glory. Okay, not familiar with that, but interesting name. And you're definitely making it be known with Baccarat Rouge 540. I'd be shocked if you didn't get at least one compliment today, because I know people are definitely smelling you. They have to be, right? Next live stream, I wouldn't mind jumping on as long as I'm not at work. If that's cool with you, that is definitely cool with me, Jason. I would love to have you here on camera. And yeah, I would love to bring you on the channel, man. Feel free. That'd be awesome. Definitely. I usually stream around this time on Wednesday afternoon, so I know you may be at work, but you are the boss, so we can make it happen. Aqua de Jo Elixir 50 ml for 160. Dan is always coming through with the deals, and I appreciate that, Dan, because I've gotten some great deals that you've dropped in chats of times gone by. So I appreciate you letting us know about the good deals. For me, the new release I'm excited about are Le Male Elixir Absolute. It's not exclusive like people said. All right, thankfully. That's cool. Gentleman Society Ombre. Okay, the new Gentleman Society. Angel Share Paradis. Oh, a little flanker of Angel Share. That sounds interesting. Zaro Forever Wanted. That's funny. I feel like they're running out of the names with this Wanted line, but Forever Wanted is actually not bad. You know, what's going to be next? The Least Wanted, the most unwanted, Always Wanted, Please Want Me, and then 67 EDP. Yeah, 67 EDP could be good. Could be good. I know a lot of people are big fans of the original 67, and I thought it was a good fragrance too. I'm kind of in blue fragrance overload right now, so didn't end up picking it up. But yeah, I thought it was a good fragrance. It smelled good. Sneak peek at the Acqua di Gio Elixir notes. They're adding. Thank you for providing that. I was actually wondering what's in the Acqua di Gio Elixir, but I was going to look it up, and I feel like that would have slowed down the chat a little bit too much. They're adding nutmeg to the opening. Hello. Violet at the heart and leather in the base. Wow, that does seem to be quite different than, you know, an aquatic fragrance. It looks to be pretty drastically different. Yeah, that does sound to be pretty different. I wonder if it's going to have any relation to the original DNA at all, or if it's going to be fresh, because leather in the base, nutmeg, spicy and leathery. That doesn't sound like the summer fragrance that we're used to seeing with Acqua di Gio. Maybe it'll be an improvement over the Profumo. They're going to go that darker, spicier route that at least us fragrance enthusiasts really appreciated. 67 EDP sounds good to me. Yeah, it sounds good to me too. Hopefully it'll be kind of like a more refined, deeper version of the original, kind of like the way that Ralph's Club Parfum elevated the original Ralph's Club DNA. If it's something like that, could definitely see myself really enjoying that one. Definitely want to try it and get my nose on it. The good thing about the Polo fragrances too is they get discounted relatively fast, so you don't have to get price gouged too hard on the Polo fragrances, and they have good quality too. Is the new Stronger With You Parfum out? I see Strong With You Absolutely Parfum on Armani website. Maybe Dan or Randy, one of these people that are more well connected, can answer that. I'm not sure, but yeah, Strong With You Parfum could be another good one. I've been definitely dabbling into the Strong With You fragrances here lately. It's actually a good segue. We could talk about one of the fragrances I have here that I recently acquired, and I know Patrick and I kind of bought it at the same time. We were talking about it. It's Stronger With You Oud. Really enjoying this one a lot. I loved it immediately. I'm just a fan of the Strong With You DNA, and if you're like me and if you're a fan of the original DNA, you really can't go wrong with any of them, is what I'm realizing. And I know this one gets compared to the leather. Definitely understand the comparison. However, in the opening, I do notice a distinct difference. There, that oud note it's there. It's noticeable. It sticks out versus the leather. So you still get that original Stronger With You DNA underneath it all, and the opening is really different. But when they dry down, they do dry down to a really similar experience between this, the original, and the Intensely, from what I've noticed in my wearing. I really enjoy the oud here. I don't really have a fragrance that's an oud fragrance that I am wearing too often. And I find this one is westernized enough and really wearable enough to where I could see myself getting some good use out of this one. Good performance here too. And I really enjoy the way that oud comes across. Oud can be a bit of a challenging note to just wear in your day-to-day, everyday life. It's kind of more of a bold type of note, but it doesn't come across too animalic here, too challenging. It's just the right actually dose. This fragrance is everything exactly how I would hope it would be. It still has that DNA of the Strong With You with a nice kind of Middle Eastern twist with the addition of the oud. So the reason we ended up buying this is because I'm not really sure how long this one's going to be around. I know it's a Middle Eastern exclusive, and it just wouldn't shock me if one day it was impossible to find and it was gone. So I figured I might as well add it to the collection now versus trying to pay an overpriced amount for it later once it's gone. And just a feeling that one may be hard to find in a couple of years here. I can't imagine, it was a huge top seller for them compared to the Intensely or some of the other flankers. So I'll just have some legit stuff. Okay, not even sure how to say that. Masik Yuzu edition is my favorite. All right. Yeah, I didn't know that they had fragrances that aren't related to animals, that they have stuff beyond that too. So I'm learning here as well. Did you see the new Lattafa Art of Universe Blue Talisman twist? I didn't personally see it, but I'm not surprised that Lattafa is taking a crack at Blue Talisman. It is a very popular fragrance, and clones are all of the hype right now. And that's actually a good segue to one other thing I want to talk about. But specifically, me personally, I have the Dua version of Blue Talisman, and I have smelled the real Blue Talisman. I've had a sample of it that I've worn several times, so I'm quite familiar with the DNA. I find that the Dua version is good enough for me. I think it's close enough. Obviously, the quality on Blue Talisman is a little bit higher, as you would assume. And the thing with Blue Talisman is I love the scent profile. I hate the price tag, which is a pretty common trend among these kind of niche blue fragrances. A lot of them is the same story. I love the way it smells, but I think it's really expensive for what it is. So that's just kind of the way I feel about Blue Talisman. If it was 150 or under, I would definitely seriously look into acquiring it. But for 250 plus, I'm going to just stick to the Dua. It's pretty close in terms of scent profile, and it's quite a bit stronger, as these Duas have this extrait de parfum, which is not everybody's cup of tea. And I can definitely understand that. I'm not a big fan of the majority of Dua fragrances I've tried, but there are a couple that I'm really enjoying, you know, and Vince, if he was here, would be really happy to hear that. But as we're on the topic of clones, so yeah, I think the clone thing has gotten completely out of control. You know, it was kind of cool at first that there were some good quality clones coming out, but it's really gotten to the point where a lot of the big channels, every other video is a clone fragrance video. And, you know, here's where I think clone fragrances are really useful. I think they're useful for two situations. One situation is a fragrance is discontinued, it's really hard to find. And if you want to get it, you're going to pay a ridiculous amount for it. And that's where a good clone comes in. When you can get that fragrance for $30 to $40, quality is on point, the value is there, in my opinion. The second situation where a clone fragrance is really good is if you like the fragrance, but it's just really overpriced, like a Blue Talisman, and like another fragrance that I'm going to talk to you about now, which is Kilian's Blue Moon Ginger Dash. So you guys may be familiar with the Moscow Mule clone version of that, but this one is Desert Angel Blue Night. I actually ordered this yesterday and it came today. Why did I order this? I don't know. It was just kind of an impulse buy. I liked the scent profile of the Moscow Mule. I tried the real Blue Moon Ginger Dash a couple weeks ago. Really liked that. Thought it was way too expensive for what it is. And I just wanted to give this clone a try because it hasn't really gotten much talk or mention. And I wanted to see how it compares. I tell you guys right away on first sniff, this one is way better than the Paris Corner. The quality is better. And it's relatively close to the scent profile as well. It's not spot on. It's maybe not quite as green. There is some kind of a green nuance that I pick up in the Blue Moon Ginger Dash that isn't as present here, but big whoop. It's got, you know, the ambroxan, it's got the ginger prominence, and it does wear the same way. I find this one has, you know, decent quality really for the price point. I would prefer to wear this over the Paris Corner. I think this one is a little bit better of a blend to my nose. I prefer it. Pretty thick glass here. I do like the look of this bottle as well. The cap is kind of like plasticky feeling, but the bottle does feel pretty impressive and hefty in hand and feels sturdy, feels like good quality. And yeah, I would just suggest this one. I think it's better off going with the clone here than the real deal, which is like $250 plus for the scent profile. I got this for $40, and yeah, I think the value is definitely better to get this clone. So yeah, but yeah, the clones have gotten out of control. All that to say, here's a really good clone that I like. Anyway, as always, sir, I'm blessed and doing well. That is good to hear. That is good to hear. Zoologist is definitely a brand for more of the enthusiasts that enjoy storytelling and creativity aspect to perfumery. Yeah, definitely a brand for someone a little bit further along into the journey. But I mean, I'm a big animal lover, so I'm kind of a sucker for that. So, you know, combining animals with fragrance, why not? As long as it doesn't smell like horse shit, we'll be fine. Mr. Jason, what's up? Who has nicknamed me White Mike from Philly. I'm just going to own it. I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to own the nickname that he has so graciously blessed me with. You know, Fly Eagles Fly, give me a cheesesteak, Rocky Balboa, the Replacements, all that, and go Temple Owls. So there you go. There's your shout out to White Mike from Philly, my alternate persona. So courteously given to me by Mr. Jason Vircher, one half of Sips and Sniffs. If you guys do not already know, which I bet you would probably know. Shall we let him know about Oud After Dark? Let us know. Let us know, Dakota. Don't be gatekeeping over here. I'll wait to see what people say about it before buying it. Always a solid idea. Get some reviews in your system first. Let's see. God is good. Amen to that. Yes, he is. The one thing that I heard Kanye say that I thought was brilliant, you know, he says a lot of nonsense, but he did say one thing that I thought was legitimately brilliant. He said, if it's a good idea, it's a God idea. And I really like that. It kind of sticks in my mind a lot of times. If it's a good idea, it's a God idea. I like that saying. I don't know if he came up with that, but I heard him say it. Also, Heaven Can Wait from Frederick Mall's amazing woody floral musky. Jerry, if you say it's good, that means it's going on the list. Let me add these Frederick Malls. So you're saying Heaven Can Wait, and then we cannot forget about Promise, Musk Ravageur. Sorry, the screen is shaking because I'm typing. I just noticed that. And what was the other one? Portrait of a Lady. That's the one that gets all the hype. And that is a rose fragrance, which, if you guys don't know, I'm not the biggest rose guy, but you never know. Isn't Creed's nephew in this chat right now? Yeah, Creed's #1 customer is. I don't know about nephew, but definitely one of their biggest customers is Mr. Moneybags Virtue. Same with me for Creed. I like the Aventus Cologne the most out of what I've tried, but not enough to shell out $250 for a bottle. Yeah, I'm still finding the one that's like, that's the one. I think if I really want to get crazy, I'll just go for Royal Oud and call it a day, and just get the best one, right? Or like the most complex, nuanced one. There's also Original Santal, which I'm a big fan of Individual, and wouldn't mind a little more niche take on it. I do have the Alexandria version called Santal Silk, and I've compared it to the real one, and it's pretty close. So kind of torn on if I really want to cop the real one. But yeah, we'll see. Virgin Island water, I think, would actually probably be the best move for me in kind of the situations that I wear fragrances. I tend to go for more of the casual stuff, and Virgin Island water is pretty goated as far as tropical fragrances go. So realistically, if I was going to get one, it'd probably be Virgin Island water. Subject to change with me getting my nose on that Toblerone Millésime. I may find I really love that one, and also potentially Royal Oud if I really want to, get bougie on y'all. May go for that one. So you never know. In good time. I'm really trying to stop buying fragrances, as we all are. But I don't even say that anymore because it's an addiction, and every time I say I'm going to stop, it's just kind of like a hypocrisy moment. So just gonna live it, not say it, but actually do it. We'll see how that goes. Prada L'Homme Low is $70 at Joma. That's a steal, super underrated. See, I try to be strong and disciplined, and then I see these deals, and I'm like, I can't pass that up. But that is actually a really good price. I love Prada L'Homme, and I imagine the Low is even better with the addition of the ginger. So I just kept ranting about how much I love ginger or whatever. What's up, Vince? My guy, Vincenz. If you guys don't follow Vincenz, you need to check out Vincenz. He is a scholar. He is an absolute gem of a human being. Definitely check out Vincenz. One of my favorite people that I've met through this little internet journey that we're on here together. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Mike, have you tried Blue Talisman? Yeah, I have tried the real one. I've had a sample of it. I've worn it several times, so I am familiar with the scent profile. Love the fragrance, hate the price tag type of thing. Sticking to the Dua for now. But one day maybe the hype will simmer down and it'll drop under $200 or something like that, and may pull the trigger in the future. But for now, sticking with the Dua. L'Homme Low is a fantastic fresh take on Iris. I bet it is. I'm just, if I get the Low and I like it more than the original, I'm just going to pick that over the original every time, and then the original is going to collect dust. So just going to wear my original one, and if I wear through that, I'll look into the Low perhaps. I love Frederic Malle fragrance. It's classy, amazing scents. I've heard great things. I really have. Musk Ravageur and Promise have lately been popping up a lot in my feed, so definitely want to get my nose on them. What's up, man? Fragrance Comms Nosy Neighbor. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Let us know your scent of the day if you're wearing anything. I appreciate you coming and hanging out at the fraternity here, the fraternity of people that enjoy a good scent cloud and can appreciate a fine fragrance. Lazaro wanted no more. Exactly. I knew there was a joke in there somewhere. I just needed someone with better comedic timing to execute it. If you're in blue fragrance overload, you need to get Altier de Ors line Feline Extrait. I'll clear your palate and you'll like it. Yeah, I'm sure there's some what is that note that's like from cat butt, civet, or beaver butt, whatever that is. Some good animalic. Definitely will clear the sinuses up. Oh my gosh. I saw a first impression of Angel Share Paradise. Sounds interesting. I bet it is. I bet it's good. I like Angel Share. I bet the twist on it is also nice. Nita Zaro wanted by mid-morning extreme. Yeah. Azaro almost wanted, but not quite. They almost wanted me. Wanted by mid-morning. I like that. Keep firing these Zarawana jokes. I like it. Strong With You Parfum is on the verge of release. Tell me about it. I know how I feel. Meaning some stores will be getting it now. Oh, okay. That's what you meant by that. Right. Stan, what's up, man? Thank you for your service, my guy. Nice to see you. Hopefully you're feeling good and smelling good today. Let us know what you're wearing. Strong With You Oud is my favorite, just over absolutely. And I can definitely understand why. It's got a nice complexity. It's got some nice layers to it. And I think for, the fragrance person, Oud would definitely be, favorite among us. Many in Idaho, I heard, have it already. Damn, I didn't know Idaho was like the spot to be for, fragrance releases. All right, Idaho. Beating us over here in California with Idaho. Shocking. California boy Oud, exactly. Why I like it, man. It's my California boy winter scent. I'm gonna have to check out that Oud. Yeah, definitely. I got on Fragrance Buy. Hopefully they still have it. But it was a pretty fair price. And yeah, if you like the Strong With You DNA, if you're into sweet designers at all, and you don't really have like an Oud fragrance that you like to wear, think you should definitely look into it. That's basically why I got it. I don't really have an Oud fragrance that I like to wear, and I could see myself getting some good use out of Strong With You Oud. It's going to kind of be my go-to Oud fragrance at the moment until I find one that I really like. My brother actually he loves Oud, surprisingly. I had him smell a decant that Vince sent me of Mancera Oud exclusive, which I think maybe like one of the Manceras that Ross doesn't have. Because I don't think I've heard him talk about it, but it's a great wearable Oud fragrance. It's quality, but not super animalic and challenging. I thought it was fantastic, and he loved it too. So now I think I'm gonna put in a sample order. Maybe if you guys have some suggestions too of some good Oud fragrances, and I'm gonna try to find his like signature scent for him. I think he wants to go the Oud direction, so I'm gonna have him smell Tom Ford's Oud Wood. I'm gonna have him smell Versace Oud Noir. I want to also have him try myself Thamin's Carved Oud. I heard that one is also fantastic. So if you guys have, I already asked Vince and he gave me some good ones, but if you guys have some Oud fragrance recommendations and something that is not a rose Oud, so I'm not really looking for the rose Oud, just more focused on the Oud and the wood type of thing going on. And maybe not the most challenging thing in the world, but whatever, anything that you guys think is good, that's like a good Oud forward fragrance that's not Oud rose, let me know and I'll add it to that sample list. Maybe that'll be a fun live stream I can do too. I'll go over kind of what his thoughts were and what his favorite ones are, and then what my favorite ones are. It could be a good topic for the future. Good evening, Sven. Sven, good to see you. Mr. Sven Gali, longtime supporter of the channel. Always a pleasure when I see your name pop up. Hopefully you're doing well today. Son of the day, Michael Malul, Visionaire. Oh, one of the lesser talked about Michael Malul's. So I think that one's also a blue fragrance from what I know, but you're smelling great from what I've heard, Sven. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Anybody else that I missed in the chat? Let me see. What's Gian saying? I won't be here for a couple of days, guys. I got some life-changing events happening tonight. Well, hopefully the change is for the positive, and yeah, hopefully it's positive change happening. But don't worry, God willing, we will be here when you get back, man. Life comes first. Take care of it. I also got a really crazy busy weekend ahead, so not sure how much I'll be in the chats and stuff. I have actually a funny gig, so I'm going to be DJing at a Lids store in a mall. So I'm getting good money. I'm getting like $100 an hour to DJ in a store. So I'll be there 10 a.m. to 4 on Friday, and then on Saturday I got a double. So I got 10 a.m. to 4 at the Lids store, and then at night I got the club 9:30 to 1:30, and then I'm back on Sunday at Lids 11 to 4, and I also got my parents coming in this weekend, so hopefully get to see them on Friday night and or Sunday. So a lot going on this weekend. I will be hitting the hustle hard, but I don't mind it. I like to stay busy, and thank God I'm getting paid to go DJ. It's really the best job in the world, so I'm really just thankful that I get to go out there and do my thing, and people are willing to pay me for that. It's pretty awesome, guys. Very blessed. For anyone not in the loop, YSL Le Parfum has been axed. That is pretty sad to hear. Le Parfum is a phenomenal fragrance that definitely has a place in my collection um, for a good reason. It's fantastic. You know, I actually prefer the EDP. Shockingly, I know it's kind of cloying for some people, but the EDP is actually one thing I wanted to bring up. It's so damn good. Like, even after all this time has passed, after I've acquired, you know, probably hundreds of bottles since I got this, I still feel the same way I do about this as like the first day I got it. I smell this on other people. It is kind of a popular fragrance. Um, Unfortunately, it has kind of become a little bit of a teenager fragrance. I think it's got a lot of TikTok hype and it's become very popular. The majority of the people that I see or that I smell rather, a lot of the times I'm smelling this. And I don't know if that's because it's popular or that's just because it really sticks out to my nose. But yeah, YEDP is kind of like a goated fragrance for me. Um, I love the Le Parfum too. A little bit more like refined for maybe a guy in his 30s, but something about the EDP, I just think it's perfect. I really do. I know it's a little bit like cloying and strong for some, but you can always spray less, right? Or you can spray under your shirt. But yeah, I just absolutely love the EDP. I think it's in my like top 5 for sure. Um, Love the way I feel when I wear it. That quickly it's act. Well, you know, they're coming out with all these new flankers that are kind of, you know, do we really need the EDP Intense? Do we really need Y Elixir? I don't know. They got too many flankers of very, very similar fragrance. Where'd you get the Strong With You Oud? I got it on fragrancebuy.ca. Hopefully, if you're interested in it, they still have it in stock. I don't have an affiliate link. I'm not sponsored. I'm just uh, sharing my experience, basically. So fragrancebuy.ca is where I do a lot of my fragrance shopping. They have good prices, and they have a pretty decent rewards program that if you're an addict like me, you can get some money back and hopefully save some on future purchases. Hopefully a good life-changing event, Gian. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hope so. Yeah, discontinued, but it should be available online for a year or so. Yeah, I mean, just because something's discontinued, guys, that's a good point that you bring up. You don't have to go rush out and buy it. That doesn't mean it's not going to be available for purchase. You know, that's something that people who are kind of pushing the fragrances are, you know, sometimes they use that as a way to get you to feel like you're running out of time because it's like a sales technique. You know, you want to create a sense of urgency for your customer. And I'm not saying that's what Randy's doing or anybody specific. I'm just saying in general, this is something to be aware of in this fragrance space. If anybody's like, you know, get this now before it's discontinued, before you can't get it anymore, just because something gets discontinued doesn't mean you won't be able to still buy it for the next 3 years. You know, Prada L'Homme Intense has been discontinued for years now, and you can still go buy it for like $100. So just something to keep in the back of your head. Just because something gets discontinued doesn't mean you won't be able to buy it for the next 5+ years. You know, so it'll get reformulated and re-released. It probably will. They'll probably change it up and, you know, release Le Parfum again with just, you know, a slight twist. They have pretty much done that to the whole entire Acqua di Gio line from Armani. You know, they basically released the same fragrance in a new bottle with a slight tweak. So it wouldn't surprise me if YSL is going to be doing something of the same. Seems to be kind of a typical designer move. Swap out your entire collection for the Dua version. That would be a grave, grave mistake, Vince, and that would be pretty sad. Definitely won't be doing that. And yeah, as you know, I'm not the biggest Dua fan, but there are some that I think are pretty awesome. But yeah, I'm not going full Dua, unfortunately, right now. Sorry, Vince. I mean, it was nothing groundbreaking, mass appealing, but nothing special. My opinion, of course. Your opinion is valued here, man. So make your opinion known. Isn't that a love seat? It's about to turn into a love seat when Stan comes around. You know what I'm saying? Strong with Joma Shop has Strong With You. Ooh, there you go. Dan coming through with the plug. I appreciate that. Blue Moon Ginger Dash is my jam. Zinger Fresh and Ginger Lemon Vodka. Dude, I think you should get this fragrance. Like, this is better than Moscow Mule. This is pretty close, and the quality is solid. I mean, let me try it. Let me spray it again. Good atomizer too. Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. It doesn't smell like harsh and like kind of cheap and whatever rough, kind of like sometimes these clones do. They can smell like really rough and like harsh. Oh man, this is fucking great, bro. This is great. You're gonna love this. Don't get Moscow Mule. Don't even get the real one. It's overpriced. Get this one. It's solid. You know, I don't always talk about clones and promote clones, but there's some that I find that I feel like are just such a great value that are worth getting over the original in terms of money versus price or whatever and the scent profile. This is solid. This is good stuff. Let's see, Sven, what are you saying? Blue Talisman dupe is better, Dua or Alexandria. I've not tried the Alexandria version, but I am quite satisfied with the Dua. So, and that's kind of odd for me. You know, I'm not. Oftentimes, Dua kind of misses the threshold of quality that I like to be a snob about. Maybe perhaps sometimes, but the Blue Talisman one is nice. They did a good job with that one. So. Uh, I can't. I've never tried the Alexandria, but whichever one you get a better deal on, I think you'd be fine either way. Alexandria really rarely misses. I have a lot more success with them than do I think overall, but they are more expensive. So such is life. You get what you pay for, and then sometimes every now and then you get something that's more than what you pay for, which is what I feel like with this. I'm really hyping it up right now. Vince, I'm rooting for the Buckeyes. I'm sure he'll be happy about that. He's all about those Ohio teams. Sven, I haven't tried the original, but the Alexandria one is pretty good. Don't know how close though. I'm sure they did a good job. I don't know if I've ever really had an Alexandria that I was like, whoa, that is way way off. Like they totally missed the mark. I think I'm yet to have that. Are you actually from Philly? No, I'm not from Philly. What's the story there? The story there, I have no idea, but one day I was in the Sips and Sniffs just live chat like you guys are, and Jason decided, I think it was Jason, nicknamed me White Mike from Philly. I don't know where he got that from or where that even comes from. Um, you know, probably something from a TV show or something. I don't know. But he called me White Mike from Philly, and now Ross calls me White Mike from Philly. So apparently I'm White Mike from Philly, but never been to Philly, never. I have really nothing to do with Philadelphia, but when they give you a nickname, you got to just own it. Just go with it. West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playgrounds where I spent most of my days. Now I'm the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, so look at that. All I need is my, butler, and I'll be set. What's the butler's name? I don't know why that's escaping me right now. It's because the pressure's on. I would watch Fresh Prince of Bel Air pretty much every single day. I think I've seen every episode. That was probably one of my favorite shows as as a teenager. Um, yeah, big fan of Fresh Prince. Anyway, okay, Mike and everyone else are letting you know about Oud After Dark. Go buy it ASAP. Man, not even gonna tell us to try it. Just go buy it. I'll put it on the list. How about that? Oud After Dark. All right. Well, now you're making these bold statements. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Now that you're just telling us to buy it without any sort of research. All right. Oud After Dark. I swear if this is a Lattafa fragrance, man. There we go. Oh, Emerald. Okay. All right. Respectable brand. Respectable. Oh, man. This looks good, actually. This looks really good. Apricot Carnation. Throwback. Sometimes the Carnation gives you a little bit of this kind of 90s old school style. Is it feature that prominently? Do you get that type of vibe from it? Let's see, does it say when this came out? 2017. Okay, so it is kind of a newer fragrance. You don't see Carnation used as often anymore. Heart notes, oud, frankincense, plum. Hello. Rose and suede. All right, is it a lot of this rose oud? Because a lot of the times when it's these rose oud fragrances, that really just sticks out to me, and everything else kind of gets covered up, I guess. I don't know. I'm not big on the rose oud fragrances, and if that has that prominently, Not a big fan of like the, you know, African leathers, French leather, Memo. If you guys have ever tried those are both great fragrances, but just I'm just not the biggest rose guy. Let's see what people are saying about it. They're saying it's pretty good. Oh, Faint Similarities to Plum Japonais. That got me definitely interested. I love that scent profile. Forbidden Plum from Alexandria is a fantastic take on Plum Japonais. If any of you guys are interested in that, that is a very, very impressive take on like pretty much almost unobtainable fragrance at this point, really. Interesting. This definitely looks interesting. All right, Dakota, noted. It is going in the list of stuff to keep on the radar, of stuff to try. All right. Not going to hound you too bad for that. Seems actually pretty decent. Let's see. Jason agrees. All right. Well, we got 2 people on board for that one. Let's see. Good evening, all. Mr. Greg, good to see you. How's everyone doing? I'm all good, thank God. Paris Corner, Moscow Mule. One of Killing Blue Moon Ginger Dash. Excellent choice. I've been talking about this one a lot, but I actually just tried this Desert Angel Blue Night, which is also a clone of Blue Moon Ginger Dash, and it's excellent. So if you want to really load up on your Blue Moon Ginger Dash clones, you can try this one out too. I think it's really, really fantastic. Not quite as green as the Moscow Mule. I feel like I get more kind of aromatic elements from the Moscow Mule and something green, whereas this one is more like ambroxan and ginger heavy to my nose. You got a great track record. Yeah, Joel, when Joel recommends something, I take it seriously, which is not the same as I can say for some people in this chat. All right, let's see. Giancarlo, carnival time in Panama is usually during my B-Day week. Well, that is a hell of a time to celebrate. Everyone's partying. Frederick Mall is a top tier house for me. Yeah, I've only heard praise. I've heard I'm definitely need to get my nose on some of those. English spoken decent amount, or Spanish is shaking in a city near Panama City. I really like oud as long as it doesn't smell poopy. Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a line, a very strict line between too animalic and wearable. But I'm excited to get my nose on some more oud fragrances, and kind of a surprise that my brother took such a liking to oud. So I know it's a little bit more of a divisive note, but now I'm excited about this new opportunity to get my nose on some new oud fragrances and help him find his real signature scent that he's been looking for. Oud exclusive is close to Gucci Intense Oud. Maybe somebody else can weigh in. I'm not sure. I don't think I've tried Gucci Intense Oud, but as far as oud exclusive goes, very, very solid oud fragrance. May even be full bottle worthy. I want to kind of try some of these other ones, but I would definitely, I think that one's worth owning. Also, Thameen carved oud is better than the Tom Ford. That's what I've heard. That's kind of what I want to try both side by side and get them. I have tried oud wood from Tom Ford before. It didn't really blow me away, but I would like to just own a little sample of it, be able to spend a little bit more time with it and wear it versus just kind of smelling it in Sephora and then moving on and smelling something else, you know. Very Spanish, but in the larger city areas, English is more possible. There you go. Start brushing up on your Spanish, Vince. Maybe you want to come to LA, spend some time over here, or you'll be speaking Spanish in no time. And we can smell some fragrances while you're at it. Let's see. Best wishes, John. Praying for the best for you. Yes, definitely. Don't know exactly what the situation is, but you have our support here. And same thing I said earlier. If you ever want someone to, you know, take the weight off your shoulders a little bit, you can always hit me up and we can chat. Sounds like we might be in trouble. We will manage. I'm sure you will, Vance. I'm sure you will. Just bring Nefs with you and you'll be fine. Nefs solves all problems. Wiley Parfum, 100% for me. It's a fantastic scent. It is amazing. Hopefully my phone translate works well. Hotel, we're saying, has a lot of English-speaking employees we read. Vince, I think it could be good. If anything, you can always just go to sign language. I'm about to get my first impression on Zahara Precious Treasure. Okay, give me a few minutes. Let's see what you think, Giancarlo. Careful not to spray too much because you could go nose blind. It has got the synthetic component to the base of it, which can blow up your nose real quick. So just a warning there. Blue Ginger Dash is amazing. I don't regret paying full price. Hey, man, it's all relative to what is expensive to one may not be worth it to another. It's all very relative, and I'm happy that you're enjoying it and that you feel like it was worth the money for you and you're wearing it and you're enjoying it. So that makes me happy to hear. So yeah. Good evening. Channel News 10 will do a story on me at the Citrus Connection bus terminal in Lakeland, Florida tomorrow. Okay, cool. Kevin, do you have a link to that? Is that something that will be on YouTube that where I can see? Because that sounds like a local news channel, and I feel like if I'm not in Florida, I won't be able to see that. But I would like to see that. Maybe if you can provide us with a link to that story, drop it in the chat. I would definitely like to check that out. I want to see what's going on with you over there in Lakeland and what you're up to. You're definitely newsworthy, so you've piqued my interest. Have you tried Louis Vuitton Imagination? I've tried Imagination. It's a great fragrance, very nice. One of my Neroli fragrances that I thought was like pretty good, actually. Yeah, I like it. It's a nice, clean, soapy Neroli fragrance, very solid. I understand why it gets a lot of praise. So again, another fragrance where I love the scent. I hate the price tag. So there's a lot of those that kind of fall into that category on the fresher side. And that's another one where, if you get a good clone of it, that could really be good value, because those Louis Vuittons, man, they are not cheap. They are not. Especially after tax. Gets pretty crazy. I think White Mike from Philly was a character from the Wayon Bros sitcom. See, I'm showing my age. I don't even know what that is. That was probably before the Wayne's World. No, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I guess that was before my time, maybe. You got it right, Patrick. All right, I'm gonna need to look up this character now. Hopefully, it's not like some big nerd who's just like a loser. They'll know what Jason really thinks of me. What's up, man? Aussie's Fragrance Talk. Thanks for coming into the fraternity here. The conversation is flowing, and the chat is flowing. So I appreciate you guys being active. And yeah, I've not even had to talk about any of these fragrances I had lined up because it's been flowing really nice. So nice to see you. Let us know if you're wearing anything today, what your scent of the day is. And yeah, you know the deal. Mr. Sally Knows It All is here in the fraternity. Thank you for coming through, Mr. Sally Knows It All. If you guys don't already know about Sally's content, definitely check it out. Man has some great fragrances, and he has got some good taste and, some stuff that you may not hear about on other channels. So definitely a guy that's doing it for the love of the game. It shows in his content. The passion is obvious. And yeah, I'm always down to support people that have a genuine passion and a genuine interest in this hobby and aren't just in it to make a quick buck or to look cool or whatever. And, that whole thing. How's that hair treating you? Let us know, Austin. I'll preach this one until I'm blue in the face. Rosendo Mateo number 5, the OG to Baby Cat, but better. Controversial take. Goes in a slightly different direction with this suede finish instead of being so heavy on the black pepper. Well, you have sold me, and it is going at least on this list of stuff to try. I don't need that. Would probably, hopefully Scent Split has that, because I've never, I don't spend too much time in like Saks Fifth Avenue or whatever, these high-end stores, but on occasion I'll pop my head in there just to see what fragrances they have. But I've never seen that particular brand in there. So that one may be a little bit harder to track down, but it's on the list. It's on the list. Definitely taking note of that. Harrod smells great for the 6 hours that I could smell it. Hey, it's pretty good. It's pretty good longevity there. Was that a shot of my Serge Lutens recommendation? That was. I didn't want to call you out by name, but It was like a subtweet at you, Vince, but it's okay. I'm not too mad. You've gotten me plenty of good recommendations over the time here, and I've tried a lot of great fragrances because of you. So uh, overall, you're still definitely in the positive. You're over 500, but yeah, you did have a miss with that one. What was it called? It had a weird name too. It wasn't very good. I'll show people what we're talking about. It's a very out of the box type of fragrance. I had never heard anybody talk about it. Vince hit me up. He's like, "Man, you'd love this fragrance. You should just buy it. Just get it. I'm sure you're gonna love it." And what do you know? I could not stand it. But it's all good. I don't have any hatred towards Vince. I have no anger in my heart. I know it's a subjective hobby, but yeah, it was just kind of medicinal smelling to me, which is weird. But yeah, I think I guess maybe cloves I'm just not a big fan of. I think that was how I found out that yeah, cloves are just maybe not my deal. But it was interesting, just not for me. What can I say? We can't love them all, Vince. I appreciate you thinking of me at least. I like the smell of hair, just hard for me to wear here. Hair in the heat is yucky. It is hot over there in Australia, definitely right now at this time of year. It was something 30 something here this morning in Tampa, Blaine. I bet it's also confusing to Blaine when we're talking about temperature in Fahrenheit because I think they use Celsius in Australia, if I remember correctly. That was the reason I reached for it. Very, very rare down here. Coldest it's been in my 2 years of living here. Even though Aussie's Fragrance Talk referenced it in Fahrenheit. So that's kind of counter to my point there. Anyway, before I get too nerdy on y'all. Wine bros like Marlon and Damon Wines. I have no idea about this. I have maybe I've been living under a rock my whole life. But yeah, I have no idea about this. I think that's going to be the first thing I look up as soon as the stream's over because I need to know if Jason is just trolling me this whole time. And I feel like I might be getting trolled. So yeah, yep, that's the one. Anybody tried Soeurs Lutens? Yeah, I'm not even try to say it, or unless that one's a flanker of this original. But yeah, I mean, I didn't like the original, so I wouldn't really care to try the flanker. Maybe if somebody else can weigh in. But yeah, I guess the prominence of cloves was just not working for me. You ever seen? I have seen Wayne's World long time ago with Mike Myers, right? He was in that, but it's been so long that I can't even really remember. I just remember he'd be like, "Party now" or whatever. Like I can't even really remember. It's been so long. That was a little bit before my time. But I have seen Wayne's World. What I can vaguely remember. I gotta go rewatch it. Oh, White Chicks. Okay, yeah, I know that movie. All right. Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely missing a little piece of pop culture that everybody is super familiar with over here. The Retired Life Project, not me, but I think Vince. Yes, Vince has a sort of philosophy channel where he talks about being retired and some of the things that go along with retirement and kind of the differences between being retired versus working full time and mentality and kind of the way he's going about things. It's pretty interesting. If you have interest in that, or maybe if you just like Vince, I just like Vince. So I'll just, I'm happy to listen to him ramble about whatever. I'll listen to him blab for 20 minutes happily. It could be about retirement, could be about football, it could be really about anything. So I'm just a Vince fan over here. But, if you're maybe a little bit more intellectual than I am, and you actually want some solid content to check out the Retired Life Project. I tried Rosenda Mateo number 5 at Osme Perfumery in Miami. I got my bottle on Max Noma for like 110 shipped. I think that's a good price. I'm going to be sending people some decants if you can't find it anywhere. Well, I'm not one to beg, but if you want to shoot me one, I will happily give my thoughts on it. But I actually want you to wear your fragrance and enjoy it too, so don't be using up your whole fragrance that you're just sending away that you don't get any left to enjoy yourself. My guy, you did buy it. I want you to enjoy it. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm going to move on before I embarrass myself. Febreze rated number 1 of Fragrantica right now. I mean, that's weird. I don't know why that is. The trolling continues. Troll Grantica, the name, just the namesake continues. Blaine is in Hawaii. Oh, he's in Hawaii. He's not in Australia. Blaine, why don't you tell? Jeez. This whole time, I think he's in Australia because he's talking about how hot it is when it's winter over here. So I'm like, oh, he must be in Australia, but he's in Hawaii. Dingus over here. I'm sorry, Blaine. I'll know now that you are in Hawaii. Yeah, I'm just, you know, what can you say? This is what happens when you're just in a fraternity and you're doing fraternity activities for too long. You can't keep it straight. Who's from where? This is kind of, you know, the collateral damage of all these aromas. Esteban, what's up, man? Esteban's a really cool guy. Got to link up with him a couple of weeks ago and chat with some fragrances. Showed me a really cool coffee shop over here in Inglewood, California. So really cool dude, a fellow DJ, fellow music head, and we're into music and fragrance. So we definitely got a lot that we can chat about. So Esteban, thanks for being here. Let us know what you're wearing today. I'm not Australian, so that can be confusing to people. My name is Austin, and my nickname is Aussie. All right. I, from now on, will never mention the country of Australia in any live chat ever again. Let's make that a rule. All right. But yeah, good. Thanks for clearing that up. Because now I know. And I can not make that mistake again. Anyway, first impression of Precious Treasure. Yes, I like it so far. Need a full wearing. All right, keep us updated on what you think, John Carlo. It's definitely an interesting one. It's never smelled anything like it. I'll say that for sure. You are closer to Australia than the rest of us, so close enough, but pretty far off as well. Let's be honest. Kara is here. Coconut Girl herself. Maybe she needs a new nickname because, you know, I don't know. She's still the coconut lover that she used to be. I think she's kind of expanded her palette, so maybe new nickname. I don't know. What's up, everybody? Victory Elixir. That is a great smelling vanilla fragrance. Probably one of my favorite vanilla fragrances. I think my favorite designer vanilla. So, Kara, you're smelling great. I've noticed we have a lot of the same fragrances that we really love. You have great taste. We got a super chat here from Mr. Jerry. I appreciate you, Jerry. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I'm amazing and how passionate about fragrance. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jerry, for the kind words. I would not call myself amazing, but you know, I just try to keep it real with you guys. And yeah, this is the brain of Michael. This is how I think about things, and some people vibe with that. And the 23 people here clearly do. So I appreciate you guys. And yeah, you know, maybe some of you are just here to watch me embarrass myself, and that's fine too. If that's entertaining to you, if that's the value you're getting out of this, I ain't mad about it. I'll gladly, you know, slapstick comedy still works, guys. The one you got, trying to get someone to back me up regarding it being a good fragrance. Hopefully Joel would. Good luck, man. You're going to have to search far and wide for someone to back you up about that one. Man, I'm trying to spread the word about number 5. It's so good to me. Well, it's on my radar. It's definitely on my radar. Wyan Brothers sitcom is the reason the Super Bowl halftime show exists. Interesting. They were taking all the viewership from the Super Bowl during halftime commercial breaks, so the NFL booked Michael Jackson. It's a good strategy. It'll get some viewers. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to definitely watch an episode or two with White Mike from Philly, see who the hell I'm supposed to be. But good tip, Monier. That's interesting. Didn't know that. What happens when you do too many rounds of beer pong before jumping on the stream? Exactly. You guys need to lower your expectations about what I'm capable of remembering and who I'm capable of remembering here. So, you know, I'm not the problem. You guys are the problem, right? Just kidding, obviously. Yeah, maybe for the newer guys, you don't know, you know, my brain just kind of operates in a constant state of sarcasm. It's kind of my choice of humor here. So, you know, just a PSA. But yeah. Scent of the day, Ursa by Tiziana Terenzi. Okay, I haven't tried that one from Tiziana Terenzi. I know there's some definitely great fragrances from that house, a well-respected house. So hopefully you're enjoying it, man. Just keep on being you. I appreciate that. I'll try, man. That's one piece of advice that Ross gave me, which I find really applies to even other areas of my life too. Just get really good at being yourself. So that's what I'm trying to be. Just trying to be real. I'm trying to be me. Trying not to front. Patrick's Life. I appreciate the $4.99 super chat. 100% influx of Australian viewers for next stream. Yeah. Hopefully not, because then they're going to rewatch this stream and they're going to feel deeply offended. So I think I've just axed myself from an entire country and continent, because it's the only country that is also a continent, right? There you go. You know, some things I can remember, you know, 4th grade geography is like that, but remembering where people are from, I'm having problems. What's my scent of the day? My scent of the day is Mancera French Riviera. Not really something I think would be your style, but more of a summer fragrance. It's kind of got this citrus and white floral combo. It's kind of my favorite white floral to wear that I think is pretty unisex. If anything, maybe a little bit masculine. I like that it doesn't have a whole bunch of this like coconut tropical vibe to it. It does have a bit of that sunscreen smell without being too thick and creamy. Pretty wearable everyday type stuff. Maybe, you know, got a little bit overhyped, but it's a good fragrance. I enjoy the wearing experience, and long lasting Mancera quality, you know, a lot to offer. The bottle caught my eye this morning in the corner of my eye. So I was like, you know, what the heck? Haven't worn it in a while. I'll wear it. I always have low expectations, so I'm never disappointed. That is the perfect attitude when attending these live streams. That's funny. What's my favorite album? My favorite album is probably one that I'm not sure if you guys know, but my favorite album would be Cascade the Grand. It is an album that really, I fell in love with dance music because of it and through it. Really beautiful progressive house music. Let me see if I can show you guys my screen here. Let's see. Yep, the Grand. So check out the Grand if you want some nice electronic dance music. It's not really house, kind of like more progressive, but this was the album that really solidified my love of dance music, and I still listen to it a lot these days. So the Grand by Cascade is, I'll go with that being my favorite album. Hopefully you like it as well. Let's see. We are a little bit over an hour here. I do have some fragrances here that I wanted to talk about, so we'll just briefly touch on those. And yeah, so I got this one in, I think yesterday. Roja Scandal Parfum Cologne. Look, I already got some fingerprints on it. Typical stuff over here. Typical production value at the fragrance fraternity. But anyway, if you guys are into fougere fragrances, this is a stunner. You know, it's got that old school kind of classic masculine vibe to it. A lot of aromatics here working beautifully, really nice blend. Nice lavender in the opening, and then in the heart kind of really settles down, and you get this just an amalgamation of different aromatics working together. A pretty nuanced, complex scent. Kind of more of a dressed up fragrance. More, you know, it's got that like barbershop kind of old school fougere vibe, which I've been getting into lately. I wanted to see how it compares to Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. And it's right up there with it. It's definitely giving Beau de Jour a run for its money. I think Beau de Jour is a little bit more suited to a younger person looking to wear, you know, something a little bit more classically masculine. When I smelled this, I really kind of envisioned this a little bit more on like a 50-year-old plus type guy, even though I'm going to be wearing it because, you know, I like it, whatever. But it does smell a little bit more mature than Beau de Jour to me. But it's beautiful. It's really well done. And yeah, it's crazy. I was wearing the Elysium Parfum Cologne this past weekend. Got some crazy reactions with this fragrance. Like, you know, they say panty droppers aren't a real thing. And this was my experience this past weekend wearing this was as close to a real life panty dropper as you can really experience. I had a girl going just absolutely nuts over this. and she was messaging me the next day trying to figure out what it was, talking about it all night, telling her friends about it, just pretty much wouldn't stop talking about how good this smelled. So that was nice. She's being really nice that night, so I appreciate it. And she actually was from Australia, so maybe I got Australia on my mind, and she was visiting from Sydney. So that I remember for a fact. That was not something I was going to forget. But yeah, she was licking my neck and she was going crazy, man, over this stuff. So it doesn't last too long, but bring the bottle with you. I did, and hit yourself with the respray. If you're looking to make an impression, if you're single, this is crazy. I really have never experienced the kind of reactions that I was getting with this fragrance. So it's not the reason I wore it. I never wear fragrance to, as a means to an end. Obviously, I'm like an addict with this fragrance thing. I have all these fragrances that I wear and talk about and whatever, but sometimes it just clicks, and whoever you're around just is really intoxicated by your scent. And then later last weekend, I went with Zaharoff Signature Aurum, decided to really ball out and get the 4 ounce. I really like this honeycomb plate. I think it's really badass looking. And yeah, I just figured it was worth the extra money to get this plate. This is my favorite honey fragrance right now. Before this, wasn't really the biggest honey fragrance person. But this one is just amazing, So a lot of the times it really just comes down to finding that right particular fragrance that will kind of change your whole perspective about a particular note, because it's all about the blend. But the cinnamon in here works beautifully with the honey, gives it a bit of the spice and a bit of this kind of like holiday vibe to it. Very strong performer. Quality is crazy, and I could not stop spraying this one. I sprayed it maybe like 40 times last Saturday night, and that's kind of typically what I've noticed. If you find a fragrance you really love and you're out and about, you just want to keep spraying it and spraying it and spraying it. And although I sprayed it, I'm not joking, probably 40 times in like 5 hours, I wasn't really choking anybody out. Like, anybody within a foot of me could definitely smell me, but it wasn't too much. I don't know, when you're out and about and there's, you're in like a club or bar type environment, fragrance kind of gets lost because there's a lot of just human musk type smells. There's a lot of smells going around. Everyone's giving off a smell. So your scent competes a little bit more. So I don't know. I'm not advocating overspraying, but sometimes you just can't help it, and you just want to keep spraying a fragrance you really love. And that's kind of what the case was here. And yeah, if it's a fragrance I really, really love the smell, I'll just keep spraying it and spraying it. And I don't know. I don't really care. I just want to keep spraying it and smelling that opening over and over. And I did get a couple people said I smelled nice. So that was nice of them to say. And then Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir is a nice little blue fragrance here. Takes the original DNA and just adds some, warm, some heft, some vanilla sweetness to it, a little bit of truffle. It's got a nice plum fruity sweetness to it. So if you're a fan of 1 Million Lucky, it doesn't smell like 1 Million Lucky per se, but I think if you like 1 Million Lucky and you like kind of sweeter designers, just try to get your nose on this too. I think for a lot of people that like 1 Million Lucky, they're going to enjoy Cobalt Elixir as well. Kind of interesting with that truffle while still being blue and wearable and all that. But it's got some nice heft to it, where you could wear it in the winter. It's got good performance and a nice refined take on that DNA. So yeah, Cobalt Elixir. Thought it was pretty solid. Happy to own it. And it's been really lovely wearing experience for me overall. Let's see what else. All right. So I'll talk about this one too. We kind of touched on the Fougere thing. Now I'll get caught back up in the chat. Don't want you guys to feel ignored. Escopazzo. This is another Fougere from Lorenzo Pizzalia. If you guys are familiar with Lorenzo Pizzalia, they make very gourmand, really kind of creamy, thick, rich fragrances. Summer Hammer is their kind of most popular one, and then Sangria would probably be number 2. Generally sweeter, although this one is not. This one focuses more on aromatics and more Fougere style, and this one is an absolute nuclear beast. Like, straight up, spray this on a test strip in my room, and I could smell that test strip like 3 days later. I threw the test strip in the trash, and I could smell from the trash that test strip like 4 days later. That's how nuclear these Lorenzo Pizzalias are. Got this for $85 on Olfactory Factory. So yeah, I mean, that's just the craziest deal ever. $85 for a full bottle of a Lorenzo Pizzalia. You can't beat that. That's one of the best deals I've gotten all year. So really thankful to own this. This is a more divisive scent, definitely not buy and buy safe. I think the majority of people may not get down with this just because it is a little bit different and a little bit challenging, but I just really I like when a fragrance really has like a defined character and kind of sticks out and has has a personality of its own almost. And this definitely has a personality. It has a character. It's bold. It's kind of sharp. It's kind of aggressive. And I like that sometimes because you, you don't want to maybe smell generic or I don't know. I'm not going to talk too deeply about it, but I just like when a fragrance has a distinct, bold personality to it. And I feel like this one certainly has a personality, but you got to be more into the fougere style. Doesn't smell too barbershoppy or too classic either. Very interesting fragrance, very much more so for an enthusiast and someone a little bit further along in their journey. Um, and then lastly, I think I talked about this one last time, but I won the Gentleman Society Extreme from the membership raffle for Ross this past month. Of course, got some fingerprints on it here. Let me address that here with my highly technological method of wiping it with my sweater. A little bit of coffee here, a lot of iris, and a big step up from the original Society. And it's got some nice spicy nuances too. It's got a similarity to my nose, at least, to Youp Homme Le Parfum. That's the fragrance that I can really see this one the most. The same amount of sweetness and just kind of similar thing going on with the blend. A higher quality Youp Homme Le Parfum with a little bit of coffee is kind of the way I can describe this one. But it's a really nice fragrance. If you're into the powdery iris, it's definitely one to get your nose on. It takes a little bit of a departure from Dior Homme Intense and has its own little character to it. But closest thing I can compare it to is Youp Homme Le Parfum, just a little higher quality version. So you get caught back up in the chat here. And yeah, we may wrap this thing up soon. I don't know. I think it's flowing pretty well and we can keep it going as well. Let's see. There's one thing that I do is lose my place in the chat. All right. Yeah, man, check it out. Let me know what you think. There's some good tracks on there. You may recognize some of them. Here's one for you: Pursuit of Happiness, Weekend Players. I think that's a song. Yeah, I know that track. Yeah, I know that track. It's a good track. I like that one. I love the style of music. No copyright sounds on YouTube as background music. Okay, I'm gonna have to actually look into that. I gotta up my music game a little bit here on this live streams. You know, really try to put not that much effort into it, but I need to probably spend some more time on that. Yeah. War Scandal on Monday. Very nice, very nice. Is it the Parfum Cologne that you were wearing, or was it the original Scandal? Riz is on point. Hardly. My game is so weak, man. That's why I gotta rely on fragrance and good music, because personality is mid, as the kids like to say. Running to the bathroom, reapply. Yeah, I'm not running to the bathroom, man. I'm doing it right there. I bring it in my backpack, and I like to because I play like 4-hour sets usually. So 2 hours in, I'll just respray right there. I don't give a shit. I'm not hiding it in the bathroom. I'm not embarrassed about my fragrance. I've kind of just accepted it as part of my identity at this point. And it's something to talk to people about. It's a conversation starter. I've gotten, there's a lot of conversations that have gotten started just based off, oh, that fragrance is nice. And that's like a easy, unawkward segue. It's also kind of good for the girls too, because a lot of times if a girl wants to talk to you, but she doesn't really know what to say, or it's awkward or whatever, she can just comment on your fragrance. And that's like it's an easy intro that isn't awkward, right? The fragrance itself is only part of the formula. You carry yourself as a big part of it too. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a numbers game too. Like, there's just going to be some people that whatever it is, your personality, the way you look is just, it does it for them. And then for someone else, it's not. And one of the truths of life is just because you find someone really attractive doesn't mean that they find you attractive. And you can't always have everything you want, right? Just because, you think that's the most beautiful girl in the world doesn't mean that she looks at you that way. And then sometimes the opposite is true as well. A girl thinks you're like the hottest thing alive, and you are very like whatever about them. So you got to really find it. It's a beautiful thing when it comes together and you both have that initial attraction, the personality's working, you enjoy spending time together. It's a beautiful thing, man. Is dance your favorite genre of music? Yeah, I'd say it's my favorite genre of music. Definitely. I mean, I pretty much have dedicated my life to it. I mean, the whole fragrance thing is kind of a side quest, really. I've spent the majority of my time producing different types of house music. Right now, I'm working on a piano house song that's coming out pretty cool. I've been looking for a vocal for it. I think I'm going to use the Halo Beyonce vocal and just kind of make like a bootleg type version that I can play and use in my sets and see how that goes until I find some originals. But yeah, I love dance music. Pretty much have since I was like 12, 13 years old. I used to love trance a lot, then kind of got more into the house and tech house, progressive house type scene. But yeah, and dance music and hip hop are like kind of the two go-tos. But I really have expanded to like 80s and 70s music. And cool thing about being a DJ is I got exposed to many different eras of music, many different styles. People send me song requests of stuff that they want to hear at their parties. And then I get exposed to all this music and all this really good stuff that people are requesting and asking me to play that I didn't know before. So it's like one really cool part of my job is just kind of seeing what people will, I guess, request ahead of time for like the private events or whatever. When I'm in the club, I really don't even take requests at all. But when I'm doing like mobile and private events, like people's birthdays and stuff, I have a very different attitude about it. I'm very no ego, no nothing. Just I'll play anything, whatever you guys want to hear. I'm just here to make it fun for you and your friends and to make it a good time. Whereas when I'm in the club, I think I'm big dog and I'm trying to be like an artist and provide an experience or whatever. So I'm going to be like Apple, I'm going to give you what you want before you even know what you want. You don't even know that you want the iPhone until I create it and give it to you. And then you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Right. So, whereas the mobile gigs, it's like a Microsoft. I'm just like, you can customize things. You can mod it. You can tell me to play this song and I'll play it right away. I don't give a shit. Just a different ball game. I don't know why I'm going into that. Let's get back to the fragrances. Wearing 12 sprays of hard candy elixir in the bar. Hey man, do it. And it's not like you got to spray all 12 at once, right? It's like you spray 4, you're there for an hour, and you spray 4 more, spray 4 more. It's not like I intentionally tried to spray 40 sprays of Orem. It just kind of happened. I just wanted to keep spraying it because I liked it so much. I was like, oh, I want to smell that opening again and again and again. Can't get enough of it. And I'm a little bit impulsive too, as you guys can probably tell. So that doesn't help. Cobalt elixir is like if you had a little victory elixir to the original cobalt. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Still get the plum and broxin, just add a little smoky earthiness to it. Yeah, definitely. I like the fruitiness of the plum. I think that definitely comes across still, even though they don't list that in the notes. Definitely still pick that up. Yeah, that's why I like it. But yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Definitely can see where you're coming from there. I used my 3 ml sample of Orem. I work at Orem. It was pretty damn strong. I lost my entire 12-hour shit. I did get 3 compliments. Yeah, I'm sure it did. Yeah, there was absolutely no reason for me to spray 40 times. I just, like I said, impulsive, couldn't help myself type thing. But I'm glad to hear you were able to work through your whole sample. And I know you're kind of considering a full bottle of that as well. So hopefully you get a little bonus and you can pick up a bottle of Orem. It seems that you're into it. I don't know if I'd wear it to work necessarily. It's kind of, in my mind, a little bit more of a going out type fragrance, but you do you. Obviously, you can wear whatever you want, whenever you want. I am not the authority on that. Infinity by Montal is on my doorstep. Congratulations. I want to get my nose on that one. You've been talking about that one. I remember we looked it up last time and it looked fantastic. Really nice cherry fragrance from what I can remember from the notes. And definitely that's on my radar. Let me just double check and make sure that is on my list. Definitely needs to be. It was not. So it needs to be written. Well, at the end of the stream, we'll I think that'll be cool. I'll just pull up that list again of all the stuff that I've got like kind of my nose on to try. And that'll be a good way to end the stream. The only fragrance I got with honey in it is 1821 Sweet Tobacco. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. I'm also kind of limited in my honey exposure. talking about like a stock portfolio over here, but 40 knots from Xerjoff is kind of the other honey-based fragrance. Not honey-based, but there's a prominent honey in 40 knots, along with the woods and spices that I enjoy. Olfactor Factory is a great discount. It really is. They have some great prices lately. It's kind of one of the hidden gem ones. There's a couple websites that are a little bit more of hidden gems that have some good fragrance deals. Aura Fragrance is another one that has good stuff sometimes. Beauty LIV, it's kind of a hidden one. Olfactor Factory and Venba. Check around those. You can find some really good deals. Honey Oud is a monster, only wearing in cold weather. I heard that one is great. I think that one is actually Ross's favorite honey fragrance. Is Arctic Sea the one people compare to Xerjoff Amber Baby Powder, 40 knots, Amber Baby Powder? I could see where you're coming from. I think Patrick also kind of got a baby powder vibe from it. But I've actually tried Arctic Sea, and no, Arctic Sea does not smell like 40 knots, like at all. 40 knots, well, Arctic Sea is a very salty fragrance, like the saltiest fragrance I've ever tried. But I'll tell you this, it is the most transportive fragrance I've ever tried in my whole niche journey. I legitimately was transported to a frozen lake when I smelled it. The opening is one of the best openings I've ever smelled. Absolutely fantastic if you like, aquatic fragrances, if you want to have that kind of frozen feeling, that icy accord or whatever. Yeah, Arctic Sea was amazing. The only reason I didn't end up getting a full bottle is because as it dried down, it's just super salty, like super, super salty. And it was too much salt for me. I'm not a big fan of salt in fragrances. And as it dried down, it was so much salt, too much for me. But I swear that opening, you catch it in the air. It is, I didn't even know that kind of experience was possible in perfumery. I've never been transported to, they say it's an experience, right? Telling a story, taking you on this journey. That one legitimately, Arctic Sea took me on a journey. And it was so amazing. Even though I don't like salt, it was just such a great fragrance. I couldn't even say anything bad about it. But yeah, the dry down, it was starting to bother me with the saltiness at that point. And it's a very strong fragrance, as Lorenzo's Pizzalis don't play around. Michael's a Fougere guy now. I mean, I've always been a little bit of a Fougere guy. Some of my first fragrances were Fougeres. I was rocking, I think, is the Dreamer considered a Fougere? I think it is. That was one of my first fragrances. I was just wearing this old school stuff, man. This Japur, Boucheron type stuff when I was like 12. Yeah, I mean, I was wearing whatever my mom would buy me, and she would always buy me these like gentlemanly, grown man type fragrances. I guess, well, for whatever reason. And that's just what I was rocking. So I kind of always been rocking the Fougeres. But I'm pretty picky with them. There's so many of them out there. The Fougere is the most common like men's fragrance style to date. So there's a lot of them out there. But it's all about the blend. Not to me. I dislike 40 knots. I think Arctic Sea is different. A true salty aquatic citrus. Don't get any powder at all. Yeah, not powdery at all in Arctic Sea. Pretty different fragrance overall. Yeah, I wouldn't. They don't even remind me of each other at all, to be honest. Oh, Pursuit of Happiness is the album. Kind of hard to find. Great dance music, in my opinion. Interesting. Let me look that up. Pursuit of Happiness album. Pursuit of Happiness album. I wonder who's the artist on that. I was thinking about the Kid Cudi song. Is that? Yeah. Okay. Pursuit of Happiness is the album. Who's the artist of the album? Because when you were talking about that, I was thinking about the Kid Cudi song. So let me know who the artist is on that. I'll give it a listen. Doesn't get the love it needs for real. 1821 Sweet Tobacco. Should that be added onto the list? The list is going to get very long. Mr. Vance, good to see you, my guy. Hopefully you're doing well. Christine Station, new here. Welcome to the fraternity. Lovely to have you here. always happy to add another lady to the fraternity here. Girls are certainly welcome. We have Kara, and now we have Christine. So we're doubled in the amount of ladies we have here. So it's nice. Let us know your scent of the day, and welcome to the fraternity. Let's see who else we got here. Tell us again about how music and fragrances are alike. Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of levels to this, but there's a perfumer who is like a music producer. You have to, when you're creating a fragrance, they're usually given a what is it, a statement, or I forget what, there's a specific word for it, but they're given an idea of what they want this fragrance to communicate, what this piece of art is going to represent. Do they want this to be something that you would wear when you're sailing on the ocean? Do they want this to be a day night fragrance that you'd be wearing in the south of France? So, and with music as well, when you're creating music, you want to have the end goal in mind. You want to try to set a vision. Same thing in like painting. You want to try to have what the end goal is going to be in your mind, and you're going to create that, and it should serve a purpose. All art, good art, serves a purpose. So you want to try to figure that out. So that's kind of like the, esoteric behind it. As far as like the nitty gritty ways that it's alike, fragrances have a top, mid, and the bottom that are composed of notes that come together to make, accords or chords in music. Individual notes when played together creates a chord. And that's the definition of a chord, is two or more notes played together. And the way that you incorporate the chords together sets the tone of the fragrance, and can also create what we call in music the harmony, which is essentially the chord progression, which communicates the feeling of the song, which can make you feel a certain emotion. It sets the musical tone of the music. And then beyond that, as far as looking at it from like a DJ's perspective, one of the cool things about being a DJ is I like to go through all the music. There's so much music released every week. It's like a whole sea of music. So you need people who are DJs to go in and you find the good tracks and the really good music, and you play it out for people, and you do that legwork. You dig and dig. And the same thing is kind of true in the fragrance space. We have hundreds of thousands of fragrances, and we take the time to sample, and we dig through them, and we share our opinion about what we think is really nice, and that way we're a tastemaker, both in music and fragrance. And that's kind of one of the reason I get into this. I find a lot of similarities. There are other similarities. I mean, I feel like I could give a whole presentation about it, but those are just some of the things that come to mind off the top of my head. That's a true story, by the way. I was at a bar with shoulder to shoulder crowd on the dance floor and kept getting asked what I was wearing. Sometimes it happens, sometimes there's just this visceral reaction. And hopefully you didn't gatekeep. Hopefully you told them what you were wearing. But, if you're wearing a clone, are you guys honest? That's also sometimes I think about like the naming conventions of the fragrances. I think that's maybe one reason I've kind of stayed away from the Valentinos, because I would just imagine myself wearing, let's say, Valentino born in Roma, gold fantasy. And someone's going to ask me what fragrance I'm wearing. They like it and they want to know what it is. I'm really going to, say a whole paragraph, and they're going to be like, are you speaking English? Oh yeah, I'm wearing, Acqua di Gio. I don't even know. Let me think of a long name. Prada Luna Rossa Ocean Le Parfum, or whatever. That one's not even that bad. I'm completely embarrassing myself right now, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Valentina Born in Roma Coral Fantasy Gold Blend Edition Part 2. There's just some crazy names. What's up, Mikey? I Smell. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Happy New Year. Hopefully you're doing well. Mr. I Smell is in the building. What's up? The very first person that I was ever on a live stream with got me started into the live stream game. And look at us now. We are flourishing and the fraternity is blossoming. So thank you, Mr. I Smell, for bringing me on the first time on camera. And good to see you here. Please keep coming around. I hope you're doing well. And I know you're probably, focused on life, and that is the way to do it, So You're always welcome here. Always happy to see you here. Any experience with the new Al Haramain Dubai Night Aqua? Let him know, Joel. Not yet. Only the Golden Tobacco Edition. Got to get Joel out of here before that list gets way out of hand. I've made him my moderator, so there really is no getting rid of him at this point. Not like I would want to anyway. Salty in like an oud mineral kind of way. Yeah, yeah. Salty and like table salt, straight up table salt. Another salty fragrance. Juliet Has a Gun Vanilla Vibes. You ever tried that one? That one's got a pretty much salty, kind of a salty vibe to it. Light Blue O Intense has a little bit of a saltiness to it, but there is no fragrance as salty as Arctic Sea that I personally smelled. I think it's worth trying though. I think it's a phenomenal fragrance. If I didn't have such an apprehension towards salt, I would already own it. I love the fragrance. I really do. Especially the first hour is like the best aquatic fragrance I've ever smelled. Really, you catch it in the air and it would like stop me. I was wearing it at home and I would just like catch it in the air and be like, "Whoa, that is incredible." Yeah, I I may even get it one day. Who knows? Unfortunately, the dry down is too salty for me, but yeah, definitely recommend getting a sample, dude. Check it out. It's sick. Try a lot of the Lorenzo Pizzalias. Try Arctic Sea. Try Escopazzo. Can't guarantee you'll like it, but I think it's pretty interesting. You can get it for $85 if you do end up liking it, which is crazy. Sangria and Summer Hammer. If you like fruity, if you like, kind of sweet, playful, fruity fragrances, definitely try those. Can you smell the smoke and fires around you if they are there? Yeah, I can definitely smell the smoke. Thankfully, the fires are a decent distance from me to where it's not really affecting me besides the air quality, thankfully. But yeah, it's pretty wild. The fires are in very residential areas, very populated areas. There's a lot of houses that have burned down. It's very sad, and I'm praying to God that the winds die down and the fires can get it under control. They're saying a lot of the fire hydrants, they don't even have water in them. Yeah, the LA city is a shit show, but that's a whole topic for another conversation. But yeah, it's pretty rough, and a lot of people their whole houses are burned down. It's really wild. I can show you guys kind of on the map where they're happening and kind of where I'm at, just so you can get perspective. I know it's kind of hard to envision like the map of Los Angeles or whatever if you don't have experience with it. I'll show you guys. That's probably the worst map I could have clicked on. Let me see if I can get a good one for you guys here real quick. What's this one? Okay, yeah, this is a good one. Let me show you guys. Just give me a second here. I'll just do this. Let me see. All right. Yeah, I could make that bigger, but yeah, you can't really see it that well. Hold on. Sorry. Let's see. Can you guys see that? All right. Well, whatever. You can kind of see it, but basically the fires are happening in this general area, which is the Pacific Palisades area, which is a very wealthy area, one of the most wealthy areas in Los Angeles. Like multi-million-dollar homes are burning down, sadly. And there's a lot of forest type, greenery in this area, which people don't really realize. They don't really think about Los Angeles as having, trees and forests and stuff, but we do, especially when you're getting into this area. And a lot of Malibu has kind of caught fire, and northern Santa Monica, it's kind of started to peak in there as well, which is kind of getting scary because, Santa Monica is very heavily populated. Thankfully, it probably won't go farther than this little cutoff area, because once you start to get lower here, it's a lot of concrete and a lot of buildings and stuff, so the fire probably won't spread. And then I'm down here kind of in this area. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this little thing right here, that's the Marina Del Rey, and then I'm like right here, right on the southern kind of part of the marina. So thankfully the fires won't make their way over here, but yeah, there's a lot of people that are affected by that, and it's pretty tragic, unfortunately. So prayers are definitely out for those people. I thought Oro was more well known than Olfactory. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't really know how to measure what's well known and what's not. You know, it's all in my head. Like brisk salt water out in the cold ocean waters. Patrick, you got to start a channel, man. You got good descriptions here. You're always coming to save the day over here. What's the link website to where you got that fragrance? Are you talking about Escopazo? Let me see. Are you talking about Escopazo? Maybe. I feel like I'm really behind in the chat, so I should maybe hurry it up a little bit. But if it's Escopazo that you're talking about, let me check if they still have it. Let's see. Yep, they do. $85. Pretty crazy, guys. Pretty crazy deal. I think these retail at like 300-ish. I know this is like their regular discount price or whatever, but you guys can't even see what I'm looking at. There we go. Yep, Escopazo. It is on Olfactory Factory LLC. Yeah, kind of a weird name, but site's legit, and I got mine pretty quick. Can't say you should blind buy this because it's definitely not blind buy safe, but that is a phenomenal price. I'm glad at least the profile matches the name. That seems rare these days. It certainly does. Like, shockingly. When you talk about niche perfumery and going on a journey and telling a story and all that, Arctic Sea is that. It really transports you to a frozen lake or a frozen sea aquatic type thing. It's crazy. It's wild. Tell me about it. Part of why I'm not interested in Hawas Fire. Name a fragrance fire, no pepper, spice, or cinnamon. Yeah, I wonder what that one's going to be like. Or maybe that people already know. Is it like BR540? Is that what that one is? Yeah, something about the Hawas fragrances. I don't know any of the Hawas ones. Maybe one day I'll pick up Ice or something, but yeah, I don't know. Have you tried Sacred Flame? Your fire thing reminded me of that. Let them know, Patrick. If you like Fougere, check out Zoologist Dodo Jackfruit Edition. All right, it's going on the list. Yeah, as far as Fougeres to try, I've been recommended MFK's Masculine Pluriel. I think that one is high on the list to try. And then also there's a Penhaligon's one, Sartorial, I think is the name of it. That's supposed to be a pretty good one. And then there's another one from Tom Ford that's a little bit more elusive called Fougeres de Argent. That is also supposed to be really good Fougere. So, yeah. The reason I like Beau de Jour so much is it does have that classic vibe. But, you know, I really love a good lavender note. And it's got different types of lavender there that's done really well. And it's also kind of modernized. It doesn't smell too old manish. Sometimes these Fougeres, they can give off like these 60-year-old man vibes. So I get a little bit more from the Scandal Parfum Cologne than I do with Beau de Jour, but don't really care. Personally, I'm happy to wear it. I like it. Oh, it's a band called The Weekend Players. All right, cool. I'm going to definitely I'll pull it up on my Spotify right now and give it a listen tonight. Weekend Players. Found it. All right. Cool. I always like when people put me on the good music, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it definitely. What my sample is? Yeah, Pursue Your Happiness, Kid Cudi. Yeah. I also thought it was Kid Cudi, but apparently it's an album that's called Pursuit of Happiness by the band, the Players, Weekend Players. They have an album called Pursuit of Happiness. So I was here with you, Mikey. I think it's an age thing, you know. We're like in the same generation, I think. I think we are. I'll bring sweet tobacco to the next meetup, Michael. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. That'd be cool. Let's get my nose on that. Thank you for the welcome. Happy to have you here. Scent of the day is Oud for Greatness. Okay, a bold fragrance choice, but you know, a beloved fragrance for many. Definitely a nice choice today. One of the few ouds that I enjoyed. Just tried Oud for Happiness. Love it too. The clone version. You and me both. I don't enjoy the funky ouds. No one wants to smell funky. We tried Haltane from PDM. Similar scent, but I prefer the Haltane a little bit more. Sweetness from Praline just smoothed out a little bit more. I don't think I have tried Haltane. I don't think I have. I'm sleeping on that one. I need to get my nose on that one. I'm a fan of the House of Parfums de Marly, but I don't think I've tried Haltane. There's too many fragrances out there to get your nose on all of them, but all in good time. That's gotta enjoy the journey. Never gatekeep. All right, that's cool. We don't gatekeep here at the Fragrance Fraternity or ATH Daddy to work. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. So awkward. I'm wearing this fragrance called, yeah, like especially the Aaron Stearns Hughes. He's got some weird named ones, right? I can imagine like some old lady trying to be nice and be like, "Oh, you smell so good, young man. What is that fragrance that you're wearing? I want to buy it for my grandson." I'm wearing ATH, you know what the names of those fragrances are. I'm not gonna say it, but oh man. What we all do is say Yellow Dream is Explorer. Okay, I see. That's the cheat code. All right. If I ever decide to buy a Valentino with an exorbitantly long name, I'm gonna just say it's Explorer. That's a good call. Thought I was gonna get sent to HR. Yeah, yeah. That's one thing I don't miss about working in a office environment. I'll just say that music and fragrance go hand in hand. They certainly do. There's definitely some similarities in the appreciation for art of the nose and of the ears. Invictus Legend would bother the crud out of you. It's the saltiest fragrance I've ever worn, but man, I still love it. I bet it would bother me. You know, saltiness. I guess it's just not my gym, and that's why Arctic Sea impressed me so much because it's like, man, I think this is so good, even though it's so salty. So anytime they can take a note that I don't like and I can really appreciate it, it gives a little bit more weight to the credit that I give it, I guess. What's a good smell that smells like fresh baked bread? Fresh baked bread. That's a good question. A fresh baked bread. I don't know if I have smelled, there's this brand absolute note that's in some fragrances that people compare it to the smell of like wheat or maybe bread. But if you want actual bread, that's very specific. But I think there is a fragrance from Acro. I think there's a fragrance from Acro that smells like baked bread. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about? Is it Rise? One of the Acro fragrances smells like supposedly like baked bread. Do you guys have any suggestions for Christine? It's a very specific recommendation of a baked bread, but I believe Acro has something along those lines. I think maybe Rise. Emerald Wet Stone as sea salt. Smells salty with a wet stone. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. Joel, you have a YouTube channel. I think he's got a couple videos, but he has an Instagram where he posts his scent of the day very consistently. It's very impressive. I'm trying to also stay consistent because I see Joel is just on it every day. So definitely follow him on Instagram. He rarely misses his scent of the day post on there. It's always interesting to see what he's wearing. You're in Los Angeles too. Hopefully you're also not in, the Palisades at the moment, or you don't have family over there. It's pretty crazy what's going on. Hopefully you are staying safe and out of that craziness, out of nowhere. You never know, guys. One day you're fine. Next thing you know, everything's on fire. So every day is a blessing. Thank God. Not exactly bread, but I hear Roja Sweetie Oud has a freshly baked pastry cord in it. All right, there you go. Patrick coming through. Let's go to Google Maps, honestly. Yeah, that would have been better. Let's see. Yeah, definitely craziness going on. Hopefully they can get it contained. Feel bad for the firefighters too. It's like there's no even water in the freaking fire hydrants. It's ridiculous, but can't say I'm surprised, man. Yeah, our the management of the city is not great. Anyway, not going to get too political. One of my New Year's resolutions is to start wearing fragrances I've not worn for a long while. Sometimes it's an awesome experience when you revisit your fragrance. Definitely, it's like you're smelling it again for the first time. Another similarity with music. Sometimes I like to play tracks that are, people maybe forgot about it and enough time has gone by to where they're not sick of hearing, because, a talk gets popular, gets played, and it's like overplay. You can't even hear it, can't even stand it. And, 10 years go by, hear that track again. It's like you hear it for the first time. You're like, oh, yeah, that was a really great song. I forgot about that one. Like, good on you, DJ, that you thought to play this one. So I like tracks like that. So same thing with fragrance, like revisiting it. It's like you smell it for the first time, experience that same level of endorphin rush, I guess, as the first time. Fior de Pani by Profumo Christine, just like bread. There you go. Jason's got you covered. The members of the fraternity will come together and get any fragrance question answered. You can believe that. Story of Her Life by ELDO supposedly is a bread note. Another good one to maybe check out. And there you go. Should be set on your bread recommendations. Patrick definitely needs to start a channel. I think he does. He does a really great job of explaining different fragrances, and he knows the language, he knows the lingo, he knows how to describe them. He does a good job. So maybe we'll get a Patrick's Life channel here in 2025. We'll see. But I don't do videos for like 2 years. Maybe one day I restart. I just like meeting more in the chats and share that way. Yeah, for sure, man. No pressure. There's a lot of people in the YouTube space, and I kind of like, I've had a little bit of like I don't know, conundrum, I guess, or whatever. Just kind of was trying to figure out where my motivation is to continue on. And I realized it's mostly I just want to do something for others or whatever. I want to create a space for I want this time to be able to, we're all obviously enjoying this chat, or at least I hope you are. So yeah, I'm just can create a space for you guys, and maybe you get 10 minutes of enjoyment in your day watching a new fragrance video from me. And if some people get some enjoyment from that, I think that alone is worth it. It's making people's lives better. So I think as long as you're making people's lives better, whatever you're pursuing, it's fine. Even if you kind of feel like it's maybe a trivial subject, or maybe it's, maybe I was questioning kind of the morality of the whole fragrance space, and just always talking about fragrance, always thinking about fragrance, telling people what to buy, all this. I was really getting concerned it's like promoting materialism, promoting, idolatrous behavior at some level, which is a big no-no for me. So I had to really think about it and evaluate it. And I've been reading a good book that had some nice kind of advice on life or whatever. And it was one thing that it said, as long as you're giving people, making other people's lives better, and as long as there's legitimately some people that enjoy watching the videos for 10 to 15 minutes of the day, and it adds to their day, it's making their life a little bit better, then it's a worthwhile pursuit for that. And I'm serving God through doing that, and that's totally fine. So I had to just reframe my mind around that and get to think about it. But yeah, if you guys haven't watched today's video, check it out. I'll probably film another one here this evening, and try to be a little bit more consistent here. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up soon. I'm kind of dying out here. We're going to probably wrap up close to the 2-hour mark. I appreciate you guys. This was a really fun stream. Didn't run out of things to talk about, and the conversation has just been flowing. So I really appreciate you guys. Today was a lot of fun. From what I've heard, Hawass Fire has no fire note otherwise. We'll probably blind buy it when the prices go down after release. Yeah, let us know once you get it in what you think about it. Obviously, love to hear your thoughts, Giancarlo. I think I might experiment with some ideas. Might be a weekend project. Definitely. Just have fun with it, man. It's I don't know if you have like much experience being like in theater or in acting or in front of a camera or whatever, but at first you're going to be nervous and you're going to be very cringy, and then you're going to realize I just need to be myself, because I don't need to pretend like I'm someone I'm not. I don't need to put on a show. Just be yourself. There's going to be people that vibe with you, and there's a million people staring at their phones all the time. You're going to find a good crew of people that don't mind listening to you ramble like you guys do with me, which I find very shocking. I would I would be annoyed of listening to myself after 5 to 10 minutes. But I appreciate you guys. Good thing I don't wear the raspberry leather one. I'm not a fan of raspberry leather. Probably want to stay away from anything Tuscan leather related in that case. Which I'm actually quite a big fan of that profile. Imagine the guy telling Karen in sales. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the one that I was thinking of. All right. I wasn't calling her one. I was telling her what fragrance I was wearing. I swear. That's how that conversation would go. Sir, you're fired. I love when somebody asks me at work what I'm wearing, and I'm wearing Tom Ford, fucking fabulous. Yeah, another one. That one's not as bad though, because when they smell them, they're like, "That is fucking fabulous." That makes sense. That actually makes sense. I don't mind smelling funky oud and barnyard oud. Smelling, I got used to it. Hey man, as long as you like it, rock it. Yeah. There's enough names to get you fired from HR. He should make a top 10 list of fragrances to wear to get you in trouble with HR. Sweetie oud is like pastry bed vibe. There you go. Let me know, Patrick. Love to subscribe. Just do want to put it out there and think about it. Yeah, man. Just whatever. Do if you want to. Not everybody wants to be on camera and make videos, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Boston Scent Magnetic is kind of bready. Brand new. Yeah. See, I was actually thinking about that one, but I don't know that it just entirely smells like bread, or if it's just like that one note that kind of gives it a wheat vibe. But yeah, Acro. Googling this Acro bread you speak of, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't remember exactly which one, but I know one of them was like a baked bread type smell. Wasn't the one of the Giuseppe's you smelled at the meetup have the bakery vibe? Yeah, it had like a hazelnut and kind of like sweet, I guess, cookie baked goods vibe. Definitely not necessarily bread, but definitely had like a baked goods and hazelnut type vibe, which is really nice. Yeah, this House of Giuseppe. I'm a gourmand fan, and apparently they are like the top dog of gourmands, or so they claim. And from what I've smelled, it seems to validate their claims pretty well. I might be off on Boss Magnetic. No, you're definitely right. There is that brand Absolute Note that kind of gives it a wheat vibe to it. I just don't know that the entire blend comes off like a bread smell if it's just that one note. Anyway, Fragrance World Double Espresso the other day, coffee note on steroids, and everyone loved it except one coworker asked if I spilled coffee all over me. Something like that. That's fine. At least it's not like a smell that would be too foreign to the office to smell coffee, right? It's like, oh, it smells like coffee. That doesn't smell out of place. Yeah, Esteban, hopefully you don't have any family being affected by what's going on. I'm in the San Fernando Valley. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely closer to the action than I am. Sort of near the fire in Stillmore. Pack my stuff just in case praying this all stops. Hope everyone else is safe. Well, stay safe. Definitely praying for you and the people affected. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I think the winds are supposed to be dying down, as far as I understand. I haven't been keeping up with it too much, but I think it's supposed to die down. Hopefully, revisit a band used to listen to all the time is one of the best experiences. Definitely, man. Definitely. I used to live in Silver Lake, then lived in Mount Olympus, Eagle Rock. I remember the fires. Yeah, and normally it's the summer that we're talking about fires, not the dead of winter. So kind of strange. Usually it's like rainy, not burning. Jacques Depot, Serge Lutens is bread and apricots, one of my favorites. I want to get my nose on that one. That is a good recommendation. Jacques Depot is a gourmand from Serge Lutens that I definitely want to try out. Let's see. How is everyone liking the Dior Homme Parfum? Controversial fragrance. I haven't tried it myself, but it is the topic of controversy in the frag space that is so highly coveted across all forums. You're a cool dude. Well, I appreciate the kind words, Vance. Sometimes I have my moments, but you never know. Scent of the day, Kai fragrances. Not tonight, in all caps. Not tonight. but maybe tomorrow. Smelling good, Kicks. Thanks for being here, my guy. I gotta get back into hopping into your live streams at 11. I've been slacking. I've just been doing other shit and totally forgetting. So my bad. I gotta remember to hop in and say what up at least for a second. Waiting on the price to come down. Doesn't seem to get many favorable reviews. Yeah, definitely probably one to try first. I think I finally matured enough in the fragrance game where I can clearly draw a line between this being a fun side hobby and going into over consumerism. Yeah, you're really good at that of kind of sticking to your 4 or 5 fragrances that you wear per season and kind of sticking to those and making the most out of them. I really like the way you're going about it. I've completely gone off the rails, especially in the last since Black Friday. I've bought so much shit, like, and I'm saying that, and it sounds very like humble braggy and first world problems. Oh, boo hoo, you got too many nice fragrances, you can't figure out what to wear. Rough life, right? But there is something to that. The more you acquire, that is kind of like an opportunity cost. It takes away from the times that you can wear other stuff that you love. So instead of just wearing something that you love and enjoying it, you're kind of like, now you're not wearing all these other ones that you love. And one thing that I found that has kind of helped me with that is lately I've just been picking a fragrance. And I'm trying not to make like a big deal out of it. I'm trying not to like think too much about it. Just pick one, stick to it. That's what I'm going to wear tomorrow. Not going to think about it anymore, and try to just be real quick with it. And I feel like that's helped with that, because you can definitely get overwhelmed. And lately I've just been like, all right, I'm going with this tomorrow and that in the evening, and that's it. I'm just going to stick to that. That's been a good method for me. And that's smelled yet. Walking this far, the girls said they don't have it yet. Yeah. Hopefully they get it soon. They usually get the newer stuff with relatively good frequency. See you, Vance. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks for being here. I'm just going to get to the bottom of the chat here, and we'll wrap it up here. I'll be smelling the new Dior and Parfum in store Friday. Okay, very cool. Let us know your thoughts, Giancarlo. Is it gas or is it trash? I was talking about, yeah. There's a couple of them that you wouldn't want to definitely be called out for wearing at your HR department. Dinner's been sitting here 30 now. Yeah, go eat, man. Don't starve on the count of fragrance fraternity. Enjoy your dinner, man. Have a great rest of your night. We've been going here over 2 hours now, so yeah, great live stream, everybody. Thank you guys. You're all just saying your goodbyes. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you guys who super chat. Patrick, Jerry, thank you guys. Special Vince calling me out for the humble brag. Quite the it wouldn't be a live stream without at least once Vince call out, so we got that in, thankfully. Yeah, hardly. It's the other Jason is the money bag Vircher, as we like to call him. So yeah, I said I was going to do it, so I'll just post this final list of stuff to try. And if anybody's last minute suggestions on things I should add to this, throw it in. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up here momentarily. Just leave this up with the official list of stuff to try. It's getting quite large at this point. Rosendo Mateo number 5, Haultain, Zoologist Dodo Jackfruit Edition, and then I got some others. Montal Infinity, Amrud Oud After Dark. That'll probably be in the Oud sample set that I was talking about doing with my brother. Zoologist Cow and Frederick Mall, Heaven Can Wait, Promise, Mascara Jour, Portrait of a Lady, Kuba, Mashrabi, The Creed, a couple of Slurs Lutons, and MFK. I think these are all Sirs Lutons. I actually already own Shergi, so I could take that off the list. Ball 1920. A lot of these are Joel Matrix recommendations, like half this list probably. Like Isla Blanca. I tried one from Ramon Monegal. I thought it was quite nice that Vince sent over it. So thanks, Vince. But I think this is another one that I should try from them. Masculine Plural. Anything Thomas Kosmala. I heard there's some good ones from Thomas Kosmala. I believe number 2 or number 4 is the one that I've kind of heard about. I want to try another 13. It's like one of those molecule fragrances that I've kind of been into. Serge Lutons, and then Ahmed Al Maghribi. So yeah, if anybody has any fragrances that you think definitely need to be on this list that I haven't lived until I've tried this particular fragrance. Shout them out now. Otherwise, the voice is dying out and it's going to be time to wrap this one up. So last call on anything. All right. Doesn't seem like it. All righty, guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me all the way to the end. Great live stream today. We got one more Blanc Polychrome. I'll add it to the list and I will look it up on my own time. I won't take up any more of your guys' time today. It's on there. Cool. And one from Christine, Patchouli Paris. All right. I actually I need to have like a, I don't have like a really dominant patchouli fragrance. I mean, I do actually. What am I saying? My go-to patchouli is Boss Bottle Triumph Elixir right now, but definitely an area that I can expand. Sol Patchouli from Vertus is kind of the one that people were pushing me towards, but always open to other things. And I've not heard about this one, so. Well, you've never smelled it, so why don't you smell it first? Let me know if you like it, and then recommend it to me. So, all right, guys. All righty, that's it for today. Appreciate you guys. That was a lot of fun. The time flew by. I'll see you guys on the next one. Check out today's video if you haven't, and more fragrance content coming good, coming soon. Rather, keep smelling great out there. I appreciate everybody here. You guys are an awesome core group of people. I love spending time with you on Wednesdays, and yeah, all the best to all of you guys. You can always hit me up in my DMs to chat, to talk about fragrance, to vent, for whatever. You can hit me up at Fragrance Fraternity on Instagram, same username. All right, that's it for today. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody. Peace out.